Hello there. You are about to watch a free lesson from my new course, The Science of Sounding English. This is a British accent and pronunciation course. You not only will learn how to do a British accent, all the sounds in British English, but you will actually just learn how to speak naturally, more like a native, so you sound like you're speaking English. Now, this course is 50% off only for Black Friday weekend. So you've got today and tomorrow. And the lesson you're about to watch is not about the accent, it's about speech and how to sound natural like natives. So I'm not going to say anything else. Watch it, and the link to get the course, remember, use the code Black Friday to get 50% off. The link is below. Enjoy the lesson.
Continuing here with macro stress, I just wanted to split this into two parts so it doesn't go too long. I introduced now macro stress, how we've got whole sentences with words, and actually in English we use stress to stress the content words, the ones that carry the most meaning, verbs, adjectives, nouns, adverbs. And then we unstress function words, just grammar words, those boring grammar words that don't actually technically carry that much meaning. And now I'll show you how we do it. And this will probably be a mind-blowing experience for you, or at least I hope. How do we unstress whole words? Well, we use something called weak forms. The way we've got strong forms, well, we have weak forms. This is such an important concept. What are weak forms, you might ask? They are reduced versions from a speaking perspective, a pronunciation perspective, reduced versions of all of our grammar words. All those grammar words I showed you, they have reduced versions that we can use when we speak to give our speech fluency and rhythm and stress and unstress. So, all of these words can be said in a weak way. In fact, I just did it. All of these words can be said in a weak way. All of these words can be said in a weak way. All these words said weak way. Those are the stressed words. All of these words can be said in a weak way. I just used weak forms in that sentence. So, the best thing I can do is just show you. Now, once again, how do we say words in a weak way, Daniel? Just like with micro stress, the magic ingredient is once again, we're coming back to schwa. Why? Because I already told you, schwa is the unstressed syllable. So it would make sense that it helps us unstress words. So once again, we're coming back to schwa to unstress entire words. Lazy, short, quiet. It's quite low in pitch as well. No mouth movement. And why do we use weak forms in the first place? Now, I already told you, but let me say it again. They allow us to blend our words together and create this rhythm and this rhythmic flow by reducing all of the vowel sounds. Because we know English is vowel-based. Lots of vowels. But this system of stress and unstress helps us take some of the pressure of all the vowels. Because if we pronounced every vowel and every word clearly, English would sound terrible. They allow us to blend our words, creating a rhythmic flow by reducing vowel sound. No, it's terrible. We need some system to reduce some of those vowels. And we use it with stress and unstress. So, I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's just do some examples. Can. This is a word. This is a modal verb that we do not stress most of the time. But when you went to school, they told you that this is can. But can is the strong form. No one ever told you the weak form, which is the form that all native speakers use when they speak English. So we don't say can. We say can. Short, it's shorter, it's gentler, it's quieter. We're not saying but we're saying kun. Schwa, right there in the middle. You can see the symbol. I'm already using my IPA symbols. When you see that upside down E, you know you're looking at the schwa. Kun. And that's the weak form that you need to know. And that's what we call an unstressed word. Kun is an unstressed word because it's the weak form. So, rather than saying, I can see you, no, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound rhythmic. Let's add stress and unstress. I can see you. That's how we say it in English. That sounds more natural. I can see you. See? Now it flows. And now it sounds English. I can see you. Now Americans do this, Australians, British, everyone, every accent does this. Native speakers do this. I can see you, so can. That's a weak form. What about from? You know that this is from, but that's because you know the strong form. Did anyone teach you the weak form with schwa? It's from. Super short, super short. So we would say, rather than we are from Poland, no, we don't need to stress from. Let's unstress it. We're from Poland. We're from Poland. I'm from Poland. I'm from Kraków. I'm from Europe, whatever that means. I'm from Poland. See? From. Sounds way better now. We just unstressed that grammar word. So now we can put more emphasis on Poland, because that's a noun. We're from Poland. Now, usually we would say in the British, and now we're already learning a bit of the British accent, because you need to know the strong form as well as the weak form. So the strong form would be your, and that's probably a new sound for you, or your. Very important too. You need to know this. You need to know the strong and the weak, but you need to know that most of the time in natural conversations, in normal sentences, there are exceptions, and I will teach you those too, but most of the time we use these weak forms. And it's not your, but it's y. Coming back to the schwa. The schwa is really saving our life here, and it's creating this whole stress system, which is why it's the most important sound in English. Y. Super short. Is this your dog? Is this your dog? Your dog. And a tip here is always when it's a weak form, try to connect it to the next word as if it's one word. So you don't want to pause between. You don't want to say, is this your dog? Then it doesn't sound good. You're killing the point. You want to say your dog. Your dog. Your dog. You want to say from Poland. From Poland. You want to say, I can see you from Poland. Your dog? Is this your dog? Now, look, I can use I just did it. But then I said, I can, just like I did there, I can use the strong form if I want to really stress that word for some reason. And there could be a reason. I might say, is this your dog? I could be asking, is this your dog? But I could say, is this your dog? So I really want to stress your. You see the difference? You see the function? So it's possible too. But 8 times out of 10, we would just say, is this your dog? Have. Not as the verb. Not like I have a car or I have 2 brothers. Have as the auxiliary verb in present perfect. So we don't say have, we say have, schwa. Not but schwa. Have. So, we have published the report. Good news, we have published the report. Every Polish people think, oh, it's present perfect, so I have to, we have published. Oh my God, no, no, no. Don't put the attention, don't stress this word. It's just a grammar word. Just, we have published the report. And that's why we can, in fact, just say we've. That's why we can create the contraction, because have is not really important here. We have published the report. And actually what I'm doing is I'm not even saying the H. I'm not saying we have, I'm saying we have published the report. Weak form. What about this one? It's a word we all know. It's a be verb, past be. Strong one is were. And you can learn this too, because you need to know were. Very British sounding word. Were. And you will learn that later too. But the weak form is w. So, we were waiting in the car. We were waiting in the car. We were waiting in the car. See, waiting, car is very important. So we kind of waiting in the car. Can you see how we're taking sentences and we're actually looking at whole unstressed words? And we are using weak forms to unstress words. We're not saying were waiting, we're waiting. We were waiting, waiting. Don't say and. Most of the time you can use the weak form, which is and, or even without the D, and. I'll have the fish and chips. Fish and chips. Remember, connect it with the next word, and chips. Not fish and chips. That sounds terrible. Don't go to a restaurant in England and say, I'll have the fish and chips. No, the fish and chips. Fish and chip shop. Fish and chips. That and is not very important, so we reduce it. That's an unstressed word. We talked about unstressed syllables. These are unstressed words. It's a complete reduction of the whole word. Now you have to know that I told you every grammar word has a weak form, so you need to learn all of these. And you can find them online. I'll probably do a separate lesson about them. About them. Rather than them, I just showed you another one. But, what was I going to say? 1 second, bear with me. Yes, so all these grammar words have weak forms and strong forms. And can, from. You need to use these weak forms if you want to sound natural. But our content words, verbs, nouns, they don't really have weak forms. They just have the one form, computer. And there are unstressed syllables in there, but there's no way to reduce the whole word. It is what it is, computer. Whereas with these words, you have different versions, and. You. We can say you, but it will be better probably to say y. Once again, schwa, y. What you looking at? What you looking at? You look tired. Mate, you look tired. You look. Not you look tired. That doesn't sound good. You look tired. What you looking at? Now it sounds natural. You can hear it. So, that was only a couple. Of function grammar words. Keep in mind there are many more which have weak forms. So if you just stop doing the course here and focus on using these weak forms and these unstressed words, this will completely transform the way you speak and sound in English. And you will suddenly sound natural, like you've never sounded. Just here. And we've barely started the course. So I really want you to invest some time in this. Don't go rush to the next stuff. You can. So here's a tip. When these grammar words are at the end of a sentence, then we usually use the strong version. Because it wouldn't sound good to say, you can. See, that doesn't sound good. At the start of a sentence, can you help me? In the middle, I can help you. But at the end, you couldn't. That doesn't sound good. So there are some rules to that too. So you can rush to the next sentence, like the next lessons, but spend some time studying these weak forms and this concept of stress and really grasping it. Turn on a Netflix movie or TV show and just have a listen to the characters, the way they speak. Try to feel out that stress. You need to do a lot of listening in this course. But look at these sentences. Do you prefer coffee or tea? I can literally say do rather than do you. Do you prefer coffee or tea? Not or tea, a tea. I can literally say a tea. I went to Japan to see my sister. To is such an important word. It's everywhere in English, and the weak form is to Japan to see my sister. I want to go. I have to go. We're going to the park to meet my friend. To Japan to see my sister. What time does the plane leave? I can literally say does the. What time does the plane leave? Right now, it's not in my plan to record a video showing every single weak form, but I think I have to. So if this course comes out and that video isn't there, I will add it in a couple of weeks. Just bear with me. But you can research this yourself online. Weak forms. Look at these. I have seen this movie before. I have seen this movie before. Are you John Smith? Are you John Smith? Are you John Smith? Not are you John Smith? Are you John Smith? Are you John Smith? What about this one? Donald Trump is the president of the United States of America. Look at the of. Of we can say as of. President of the United States of America. United States of America. So many words to learn. If you just start using weak forms and you learn all of them, you're going to sound 10 times better already. Really, whatever accent you have, without the accent. So this is very important stuff. And that is macro stress. Stress on a sentence level where we have whole words that are stressed words and unstressed words. Computer will always be a stressed word, but then when we look deeper at the micro stress, it will have stressed and unstressed syllables. Computer, but it's still a stressed word. But then we have these grammar words in sentences that are unstressed. As in the boys are playing football. Do you prefer coffee or tea? To Japan. I have seen this movie before. Are you John Smith, President of the United States of America? Pretty much that's how it works. So that's macro stress. And one more thing. When we master the dance of stressed and unstressed syllables, when we master the dance between stressed and unstressed words, because it is a dance, it's a balance, it's a beautiful dance, that's when we create English rhythm. English has a rhythm, and it's all about the system of stress and unstressed and stressed syllables, unstressed and unstressed words. Let's go.